Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live and I'm your host, Kieran Stewart. And we're joined today by our chief scout, our transfer expert.
Yep.
Steve. Hey, how you doing, Steve? Steve. You got to let me out.
What?
Like, there was a dramatic pause. The dramatic pause.
Pause.
There was a dramatic pause between the. It's Steve K. Do you know what I mean? You can't come in at that point there. You got like there's a gap. Now we know. In future, I'm going to leave a dramatic pause and I'm going to go. It's Steve K.
Yeah.
All right.
Just if they're not too sure. And when they hear the K, it's like, yeah, it's him, the transfer man.
I've got to do it. Do you know what I mean? Each month, I'm trying to progress as a presenter and a host and try and add a little bit of something. It's old school, but I'm adding it. It's there for a reason. Dramatic pauses. All right? I mean, there's going to be a lot of dramatic pauses tonight because we're coming with you with news hot off the press. It's not even in the press yet. It's not even out yet. In fact, we have stories that Fabrizio hasn't even come out with yet. All right? Fabrizio ain't even come out of it. In fact, I saw his recent tweet about his podcast was today, and I was looking to see just in case he had some of our stories. He didn't, which means we've got exclusives, which means you are here in the right place to get the exclusive. We've got news for Tottenham fans. Not the best news. We've got news for Man United fans, Barcelona fans, Manchester City fans. We've got news for all of you. And if we haven't got news for you today, we'll have news for you next week because the transfer window is coming up and this is the best place to be for the transfer news. So
if you haven't subscribed and you're watching...
Yes. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching through Twitter, come onto our YouTube page, KS1TV, and hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Share it on Twitter. Share it on YouTube. And let's get going. All right, who's in that comment section first is Peter G. How you doing, Peter? It always throws me off a little bit because you says good morning. And right now it's obviously 8 o'clock at night. But Peter is coming all the way from Australia. He watches this show at early hours of the morning. Peter's been long helping us on the Transfer Exchange show.
That's dedication for you.
He is. All right, there he is. Jonathan Cox is here as well. Thank you for joining us again, Jonathan. We see you in the comment section. And we'll definitely see you in the comment section this summer transfer window because it's going to be very busy for Arsenal as well, mate. Trust me, it will be busy. Whether they're bringing in the talent we hope for, I don't know, but they're going to be bringing in some players at least. All right, let's get this underway. It is time for the Transfer Roundup. All right. Manchester United are interested in Atalanta's Christian Romero as they look to sign a new centre-back this summer. Romero is high on the list of options, including Sevilla defender Jules Koundé. Romero is currently on loan at Atalanta. Manchester United are also interested in Rafael Varane, aren't they, Steve?
Yeah, Man United, it's well known now that they want a centre-back. Rafael Varane's top of the list. They will be going in for him in the summer. Varane does want to go to Manchester United. He wants to play in the Champions League and he wants to play at one of the biggest clubs in the world. And he was quoted saying that in Marca. So everything points to Manchester United there. So, yeah, keep your eyes out on that one.
Definitely keep your eyes out. It's one that we've been on for a little while. We've got our people in Spain. We've got our people at United. So as soon as anything hits on Man United's radar with regards to a centre-back, we'll be on it. Another one that we're on as well, Manchester United close to... Have they signed the deal or pre-contract with Tom Heaton? Because I know that was going around a little while earlier on this week.
Yeah, with Tom Heaton, that's probably the worst kept secret in the football transfer world at the moment. I mean, that's more or less done. Why is he coming in? Is he coming in to replace Dean Henderson? Is Dean Henderson off? I know that he's top of Spurs' list. at the moment. They will be looking for a new goalkeeper because they need to replace Hugo Lloris. So, yeah, as I said, is he a replacement? He's not. Well, no. He's not a replacement De Gea or Henderson. Even if one of them don't leave, he will still be number 3 keeper.
Yeah, because they had who they had? They had the ex-Stoke keeper. I can't remember his name.
Lee Grant.
Lee Grant, that's it. Ex Derby as well. Yeah, Lee Grant.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep an eye on that. We touched on the Dean Henderson bit in a little bit more in depth on that. So yeah, that's got its kind of the goalkeeper segment for Man United. It's kind of got its own little segment. Everton are contacted Arsenal over the possibility of bringing Ainsley Maitland-Niles to Goodison Park next season for around 20 million. Real Madrid has spoken to Daniel Levy about the availability of Tunge Ndembele. It looks like Tottenham's team might get raided this summer, and looks like they may have to make a lot of changes if the likes of Harry Kane is to leave, which it does look very much is the case. We might as well get onto the Man United goalkeeper situation right now. Man United are about to make a move for Gianluigi Donnarumma with the uncertainty over David De Gea's future. Obviously, speaking about Tom Heaton coming in and the Dean Henderson situation. What is the situation with Dean Henderson, Steve? Do they not really feel that he's got the experience? He's quite ready to be Man United's number 1?
No. What the Man United hierarchy are thinking, and the coaching staff at Man United, they just believe that Dean Henderson's not ready. They want to go on next season. They want to challenge for the title. And you rightly said in a Man United Fulham post-match preview yesterday that Dean Henderson's not ready, and to win the title you need a world-class goalkeeper, and Dean Henderson is not a world-class goalkeeper yet.
Yeah. And as I said yesterday, I wasn't beating down Dean Henderson because I think he's a really good goalkeeper. And again, I said I see him as a Jaden Pickford. So that's only other people's assumption on what my feeling is of Jaden Pickford to say that I'm saying he's a bad keeper, and he's not. I don't think Jaden Pickford's a bad keeper. I think England have one of the highest standards in the world when it comes to goalkeepers. I just don't think we have the best goalkeepers in the world. I think we hold very high standards. Our goalkeepers need to have higher standards, but they're just not up there when you're talking about the best in the world. There's always a little bit of a gap between the best and our best. So yeah, and I just don't think that Dean Henderson's ready. And another thing as well, I didn't even mean to when I said you've got to have a world-class goalkeeper to win the league. And then we went through it in the comment section. Who's the goalkeepers who've won the league? And all of them are world-class. Even at Man United, there was like Van der Sar, David De Gea, and Peter Schmeichel. I mean, you're talking about two of them are regarded as the best goalkeepers of all time in the Premier League. So there you go. Nothing against Dean Henderson, but he's just not quite ready. And the Donnarumma situation, does it seem likely that Man United will get Donnarumma because he's a free transfer at the end of the season, isn't he?
Yeah. It's just not happening in Milan. It's the talks are just going on too long. They've had 5, according to our sources in Italy who we speak to. There's just talks after talks and the talks, and they can't come to an agreement. Donnarumma wants too much money. Is he right? Is he wrong? Who's to say? Is he too young? Should he just be happy with what he's getting? I don't know. But certainly if Manchester United came in, he certainly will be getting the money that he wants. That's because Man United never have a problem with wages. But as far as that there's a very good chance, especially what we're hearing whispers now about Dean Henderson, not being, sort of goalkeeper that they want, and then Spurs being interested.
Yeah, it does look like it's potentially could be curtains for Dean Henderson. Manchester City have held talks, have had more talks in their effort to sign 18-year-old Sporting Lisbon left-back Nuno Mendes. And their plan is a deal worth up to 60 million euros as part of a player plus cash deal. Who would the player be?
Oh, I don't know. Mendy? I mean, if they're looking at maybe in the player in the same position, player plus cash.
They've probably got some youngsters who they could probably do swap deals with as well.
Yeah.
Especially if it's someone like Sporting Lisbon, they've probably got some youngsters that are not quite going to do it at Man City. I know they got rid of one in the summer to Valladolid, I think he was, and previously he was on loan at Sporting Lisbon. I think it was a right back though. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the young Ukrainian though. You know, I think Guardiola likes him.
Oh really? Yeah, that's. Yeah, I think he's probably too. I think he's probably too good for Sporting Lisbon as well. He's Zinchenko. He's a very good player, versatile as well.
Very good player. Underrated.
I think he is underrated. He's underrated. But you have a couple of average games at Man City, and you're in the bin, mate. So yeah. Go on.
No, I was just about Nuno Mendes. They are having this bit of backwards and forwards regarding the agreement of the deal. They do want the money up front. Man City want to do what you just said with a player plus cash. So they've got to sort that out yet.
Yeah, this is the player. Thanks, Jonathan. Pedro Pereira. I'm sure he was on loan at Sporting, or he was on loan at Braga, maybe. In Portugal previous to that, and he was at Valladolid this season, I think it was. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Always coming out with the lifelines there. Boom. Football knowledge is very good. Aston Villa are preparing a summer transfer window. Preparing a summer transfer window, a bid for Victoria Guimaraes defender Abdul Mumin is reportedly high on Dean Smith's list. 12 million bid has been put on the table. Manchester United are working on behind the scenes to table a bid for not again. Dortmund winger Jadon Sancho, and Liverpool and Chelsea are also interested in the England winger. Are we going to have to go through this whole saga again? On, off, on, off. It's definitely off. It's definitely on. It's definitely on. It's definitely off. Who knows? But I'm guess Dortmund are probably going to put their price tag out. And it's just going to be a bidding war because people are going to have more money now. David Louise will leave Arsenal at the end of the season. Both parties have decided not to enter talks into a new contract. I think that's for me. I think that's best. I like what David Louise has done since he's been there. There's been a few injuries, which has been a bit annoying. But I think that you've signed a player to cover you for a season. He's then stayed on for another season, and to have him on for 3 seasons, you've overpaid for a player who you could have brought in, a player that's like for here and now, for the long term as well, with the money that you spent on David Luiz, because you're paying extra for that 1 year deal because of the convenience. So not great business for Arsenal, and I hope that's the end of the bad business that they do. But that's no slight on David Luiz, because I think he's surprised me with how well he's done since he's come in, because there was a lot of doubters about his still being able to do it. Manchester United will go all out in their bid for Rafael Varane. We spoke about it earlier, to partner Harry Maguire. So, as we said earlier, keep an eye on that. We'll be there straight as that news comes out. You got a little bit of news on Declan Rice at West Ham, Steve?
Yeah, Declan Rice, a very much wanted midfield player who this week A lot of rumours coming out on whether West Ham need to sell him, whether they're in debt, and the sale of Declan Rice to somewhere like Manchester United or Man City would help them. But what I just want to say is that West Ham, I mean, they ain't in such a mess as what I've been reading in the papers, because obviously you know that we've got very, 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 very close people at West Ham, and what they're not in that bad a situation at all. I mean, they posted losses of 65 million. And then they got but then they got an 125 million loan, which sounds a bit rough, but what it is, it's money that they've got for transfers and at this moment in time, which is most important, and which is what all the West Ham fans are worried about. And when you look at the fact that Spurs posted a loss of 68 million, Arsenal posted a loss of 48, and Everton massive loss of 140 million. West Ham ain't in that bad a situation, so I don't think West Ham are going to be in a situation where they have to sell Declan Rice. But what I've been told, he's going to be very, very, very well sought after in the summer, very well, because we actually spoke a couple of weeks ago on a show when we mentioned that Declan is one of these players who's playing in a very rare position. It's for England, it's probably him and Jordan Henderson, and that's about it. But I think with West Ham, the money's there for them to push on. I mean, they've had a good season. The most important there is probably to keep their players like Soucek, Kufal, Lingard, Ogbonna, Rice, Cresswell. Is certainly where their work needs to be done next season, and for them. And I don't think Declan Rice will be going nowhere, apart from a lot of rumours this week that he could be on his way to Manchester City. So yeah, I'd keep an eye on that. But we're very close to West Ham, and I've just got this feeling that he'll stay. But I just wanted to make this point today because there's a lot of rumours about it, that he will leave. But I don't think he will.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Declan Rice to go. I mean, I can see if there's any sort of inkling that he wants to go, I can see West Ham pulling out the contract, but they don't need to because he hasn't really pushed for it. It's going to take a lot of money for whatever club comes in for him. I see him staying. I think he's got another 3 years left in his deal, his current contract, and I don't see him going anywhere. Not unless someone really pulls out all the stops to get him. And I just think there's other players that clubs might potentially go for ahead of Declan Rice for the money that he would cost, like Locatelli. So yeah, someone like that, or I can't remember his name. The Wigan Gladbach midfielder,
Zakiri.
Yeah, Dennis Zakiri. So they're potentially probably be cheaper than Declan Rice. So I could see one of them maybe.
Yeah, they're in a situation where they don't need to sell West Ham. So, and as you said, and you just mentioned there, they could always pull the contracts out and say, "Well, look, you're here till so and so."
Yeah, and would you like a new deal just to sort of sweeten things up to completely take his mind? I mean, look at the situation with Jack Grealish. Aston Villa were in a situation this season that they weren't anywhere close to next season. Last season, sorry, and they've offered Jack Grealish a new deal. He's happy at the club. They're well up the table, more they expected to be, and he's kind of feels a little bit more settled now. Now a similar situation could happen for Declan Rice as well. So yeah, it remains to be seen, but I don't see him going anywhere right now. Southampton are making inquiries to bring Chelsea midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the summer. I mean, that'd be a good signing for Southampton. Everton want a couple of players from Bayer Leverkusen, Mr. Diaby and Leon Bailey. Steve, you say?
Yes, this week. This week, spoke to our guys in Liverpool, and Everton have had talks with Leverkusen. They've gone in and they want to buy Moussa Diaby and Leon Bailey. Moussa Diaby is also wanted by Borussia Dortmund. They have tabled a bid already of 35 million. They've had that rejected, and they've told Borussia Dortmund that he's not for sale. Now, whether not for sale means come back and give me a bigger offer, I don't know. But he's a very good player, Moussa Diaby. And if Everton got him, I mean, that would just take another step up their ladder to the rest of the squad that they've got. But another thing, what they're doing, they're continuing their talks, and it's been going on for a long while now. With Leverkusen over the signing of winger Leon Bailey. These talks began last summer, with them stalling over the player's promise to spend another season at Bayer, and now they've taken it up again, and now they're having talks again with Leverkusen over Leon Bailey. I think it's just a matter of time before Bailey leaves. And he could be on his way to somewhere like Everton.
Yeah, Leon Bailey's a very good player. I think it's one of them where he's been at Leverkusen a while now. It's probably time to make that step to the Premier League. Different move. He'd probably be very suited to the Premier League as well. Moussa Diaby, a very good player, came through the ranks at PSG. Very, very quick. He's like a Sadio Mane, a young Sadio Mane. Tricky. Very, very good player. Last season could probably be described as a little bit raw. Decision making was a little bit off. This season he seems to have honed it in a little bit more. He's still got a lot more room to grow and progress, but yeah, he's a serious talent, Moussa Diaby.
There's an opening there, isn't there, at Everton for these players? And that's a good sign. A good sign for Everton fans, that especially Leon Bailey, that he could be there next season.
Taweo Anwayi is finally gets a work permit after 6 years at Liverpool. Initially held discussions. Is already held discussions with the likes of West Brom, Stoke and Fulham. Is he going to be off after 6 years and finally getting a work permit, Steve?
Yeah, he is, and I like him. He's a beast of a striker to look at. We'll have to get Jerome to have a good look at him. I don't know if he's had a little butchers already. Knowing Jerome, he has. He knows everything. Players like this. But he's on his way. He's leaving Liverpool, as you said, Kears. He's been there 6 years now, and he's not getting the game time that he wants. At the moment, he's playing in the Bundesliga with Union Berlin. He's smashing it up there, playing football, playing well, and Liverpool just want 10 million for the player. I don't know what 10 million is to Union Berlin, whether that's a lot of money, but 10 million, I'd snap their hands off for this kid.
Yeah, is he scoring goals? Is he scoring goals for them? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's scoring goals, and they want him. You know, they want him. It's coming to that time where, you know, he would be going back, and you know they don't want him to go back. They want to keep him. And I think he's one of these players that if he did go back here, and he's just going to be sitting there and wasting away again, and probably go out on loan to somewhere like. So just sell him for 10 million. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see how good he really is.
But, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Jose Mourinho wants to bring in Borussia Mönchengladbach, Swiss shot stopper Jan Sommer to Roma next season. Jan Sommer's a very good goalkeeper. He's been a top goalkeeper for years. Everton are prepared to sell English defender Mason Holgate to raise funds for Senegal defender Kalidou Koulibaly. Tell you, that's a tongue twister. I was saying that all season last summer, and now I can't even say it. Everton seriously trying to make that move for Koulibaly?
Well, yeah, they do need a centre back, and Koulibaly would be ideal. He'd be fit. Yeah. He's been trying to get away from Napoli now for at least a couple of years. And again, Everton could be the team. I mean, it's interesting. They are getting linked with all these players, and I'm getting told by our people that these it's all true. But I read out to you then when I was just talking about West Ham that they are £140 million in debt.
Yeah, and it seems to be that it's like they took the risk to progress up the table by buying the players that they wanted, no matter pandemic or not, and they've not really moved up in the table at all.
Yeah.
A very promising season, but I looked not long ago. I looked just before this, and they're 8th in the table.
Yeah.
And they're 100 or what? Basically 100 million more in debt than West Ham are, and West Ham are a point ahead of them in the table and 2 places up, and currently in a European spot. So it's not about how much you spend; it's about what you're spending it on. But I'm not saying that's not to say that Everton have bought bad players, because they bought some top players. It's just they need to buy more, obviously.
Yeah, there might be a little connection to what we've been saying a little bit later, but we'll come to that.
German club Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund are monitoring Sheffield United England 18-year-old forward Daniel Jebsen. He actually scored the other day on his debut, didn't he? Daniel Jebsen, I think it was, for Sheffield United. Against who did they draw? Who did they beat 1-0? Everton. Everton, yeah. He scored against Everton on his debut. We'll get Jerome to do a little bit more of a player profiling, but not a bad little player. After Louise, David Louise is off, but it's not just David Louise. It looks like Willian is off. It's a story that we actually put out in December, that Arsenal and Willian had come to some sort of a agreement that it wasn't working out, and that they were going to try and look for a club for him as soon as possible. At the time, it was looking like Betis might be interested, but the money situation. MLS looks like it potentially be the place for Willian. Looks like Willian is off in the summer. You've got a little bit of news on Granit Xhaka, Steve.
Yeah, not a lot of news about Granit Xhaka. Just a little thing that I got hold of today. Granit Xhaka in an interview in a I don't know if it's a German newspaper or a Swiss newspaper. It's called Rheinstein Post. I'm sure you'll find it. He said he will not be leaving Arsenal in the near future. He said, I've got 2 years left of my contract. I'm happy with my family in London. These questions were asked to Xhaka reason because of a lot of players, linked to Arsenal, like Zakaria was linked, Basuma was linked, Sommer was linked. But as I say, in an interview in a German newspaper yesterday, he said, I'm not going nowhere. I've got 2 years left. And
where did the rumour come? Where did the rumour come that Granit Xhaka said he wants to leave? Where did that come out of?
I think it's just, I've heard it somewhere.
I heard it, but I don't know where.
I don't know where. And he's obviously, the interviewers obviously heard it from somewhere because he's asked him in a newspaper. And,
exactly. So it's come out somewhere. Something said that he said he wants to leave. But it's a bit like the Leno thing where, but Leno's was more of a contract nudge than wants to leave, because he's also apparently come out since then and said that he doesn't want to go. that he wants to stay?
I think it's just people, getting 2 and 2 and coming up with 5.
Yeah.
And it's and you can't when you get it from the horse's mouth.
Mm.
You've been in football and you've been around it long enough. And exactly with the Leno thing, when they come out and say, "I'm not going," it generally means they're not going, because otherwise it just goes back and they look like an idiot, when it comes around. But he's it was just a question he was asked in Germany. I think he was out there getting some treatment on his injury, and so just for all those Granit Xhaka lovers, he's not leaving. So don't panic.
Yeah, someone said they heard it from Fabrizio. You have to send me that tweet. Oh, you changed it. You're why not love football, hate KSC. You changed it. All right, okay. That's less of a tongue twister. But yeah, let us know. Drop us a ping. Drop us a message. Let us know where you saw the quote, so we can sort of debunk it. Because Granit Xhaka's not leaving anytime soon, not unless someone puts in a massive bid.
As I said, if anybody wants to go and read the article, it is in the Rheinische Post. Rhine, as in the River Rhine, ISCHE Post, and you will see the interview that he's given in there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for that, Steve. According to reports in the Athletic, former Spurs right back Kieran Trippier is attracting interest from Manchester United, Everton, and Everton. I could definitely see an Everton. Is Kieran Trippier looking to be right back to Aaron Wan-Bissaka?
I don't know about backup, but Man United are certainly looking for a right back, and they're certainly looking for a backup. If I was Manchester United, I would be looking for someone like we've spoke about many times with Kieran Tierney, not someone to come in if he gets injured and who's not as good. Someone who's on it. If Wan-Bissaka's injured, with 10 games to go and they're at the top of the league, 5 points in front of Liverpool and Man City, then they're going to want someone to come in who's of quality. And if I was a Man United, coach, I would be looking at someone like Kieran Trippier, someone who's been there, done it.
How do you sell Kieran Trippier joining Man United with Aaron Wan-Bissaka there in front of him?
That's how the manager gets paid all this money. But I mean, if it was me, you'd just say, look, we have to have 2 quality, fantastic right backs. Every position's got to be covered by quality. Your quality, I need you to come in. Wan-Bissaka's there at the minute. I can't just kick him out. But if you get in, you stay in. And which I think that's how it should be anyway. And because players who come to clubs and they want league titles, you look at their benches and they've got a team that could, finish in the top 4 anyway. Normally, these teams that win the titles. So I'm sure, like players who want success, want to come into a team where everybody, where you're all fighting to get a place. I mean, otherwise you're not going to win anything, are you? You just that's what. There's no point getting in a right back who's half as good as Wan-Bissaka or 3/4 as good as Wan-Bissaka. You want someone of quality. It's like a goalkeeper. You're a goalkeeper yourself. If you got goalkeepers injured, you want a quality one coming in. And that goes all over the pitch. So that's how I would sell it. Whether we would accept that, I don't know.
Yeah. One thing trying to sell it, the next thing is he's eating it up. It'd be a tough sell, I think, personally.
Look at Man City. Look at their 2 centre backs. You've got Laporte can't even get inside.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think a Man United that have won titles back to back and are consistently fighting and up there, like really challenging, I think is different. I think if it's a Man City, like if you're joining Man City or Liverpool, you might take that risk. But I'm not sure if I'm Kieran Trippier, if I'm taking that risk of being a backup or even competition for Wan-Bissaka, because I want to play these next couple of years. I do back myself, but I also think that this guy is not. He's a fucking tree. Like he's a monster. Like Wan-Bissaka's. Honestly, if Wan-Bissaka could sort out his forward play, he'd be one of the best right backs in the world. Like
and
his defensive side is unreal. Yeah. But the contrast between his defensive and his attacking is day and night. He needs to up that side of his game big time. Maybe that's why they're looking at Kieran Trippier. Because that gives them a different option, and he's probably a lot better when it comes to that whipping the ball in situation, attacking situation going forward. So
if you look on the other side of the pitch, you've got Luke Shaw and Alex Telles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, if you got Shaw gets injured, Telles comes in. You know, if Wan-Bissaka gets injured, then you get someone like Trippier comes in. So you're not getting changed. If you're bringing in Williams on that side, and maybe you're putting Lindelof out to the play as right back because you ain't got a decent cover. You just need quality. It's easier said than done, though.
yeah, it will. I mean, Everton need a replacement for Seamus Coleman as well. So, yeah. It remains to be seen what happens there. According to reports in Liverpool, defender Ozan Kabak has played his last game for the Merseyside Giants. Steve says this is not the case. Steve, what's going on? Are Liverpool going to try and sign him full time?
Well, this is not the case. It's was my words, but the words came first from Jurgen Klopp. I had a lot of people saying to me, "Well, where's this? Where did you get that from?" So I was just saying, "Well, go and find the interview from your manager, and he'll tell you that he said this is not the case. Even when Virgil van Dijk is fit, and Gomez is fit, and Konate comes in, this doesn't mean Kabak's leaving.
Because Joel Matip's off. Davis looks like he's off. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's a solid four. Solid four.
A day earlier, I thought Kabak was off. Because I don't know if you remember, a little while ago, I said that Kabak won't be staying at Schalke. And then I heard that he was on his way back. So I was like, well, fair enough. That's what I thought anyway. That's what I was told. But then Jurgen Klopp's come out and said, no. He will stay, and maybe it's because he's played so well, and I make him right. Really, if Kabak can, accept like we've just been talking about, if he can accept to fight for his place, fantastic for Liverpool.
Yeah, you got Yves Bissouma update, Steve.
Yeah, just a little. We spoke about Yves Bissouma last week. This is just a quick update. On him. Sorry if I repeat myself. There's a couple of things in there that we found out this week. Brighton are not letting him go. They're going to refuse any offers that come in for Yves Bissouma in the summer. Now, whether you've got to read into the words there, they will refuse. But that doesn't mean if Yves Bissouma goes into the office, sits down, has a chat.
Yeah.
Right. Every manager's going to refuse to let their best players go.
Yeah.
So, but that's what Brighton have said this week. Quickly, we all know Arsenal need to sell. He's got the same agent as Pepe. Not to say that means anything, but you never know. Monaco have shown interest. they're looking into it now. They've had talks with Brighton, and then they were just pushed away. Now the problem with Basuma, and the reason why he could stay, because now yesterday in their fantastic 3-2 win over Manchester City, he was saying, "Oh, I'm so happy. I'm great here. I love the fans." But maybe this is because everyone's blowing you out now. Because as good as a player as what he is, this guy will be going to the African nations, like you said last week, Kieran, in 2022. The price tag will put a lot of clubs off, like I mentioned last week, and then so it could mean that he could end up staying at Brighton. Manchester City, there was links, but they've got other things on their mind. In that, they'll be looking at players like Zakaria. That's their number one choice, or Locatelli is another one that that they want. Liverpool and Leicester, they spoke to Brighton. They left an offer, but were just thrown out the window. Just don't want to. You can offer, so when you see offers in papers, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to sign for him the next day. People, but Leicester anyway, they've got Soumaire coming now. But yeah, there could be the fact Basuma may not be leaving. So, and if you've put a few of those things together, there's a few little barriers in the way that's stopping him.
Yeah. Brighton do not want to let their prized possession go. Norwich City are interested in signing Josh King from Everton for a free in the summer. Slavia Prague are confirmed they're in talks with West Ham over the sale of Abdullah Simmer, a good player. I think he'd do well under David Moyes as well. Don't know why. Talks were progressing with Crystal Palace over the vacancy that will be come apparent when Roy Hodgson has his final game on, I think, Saturday, isn't it? And they're currently holding Arsenal 1-0. So Crystal Palace are keeping up their record of being unbeaten in the final game of the final home game of the season since I think it was about 40 years or 50 years. Atalanta B's Ukrainian midfielder Ruslan Volodya Rokoshich Maliatsky. I can't say that. I'm gonna have to run that through a pronunciation.
Who's that? Say it again.
Ruslan Volodya Myrovchiv Malinowski has had interest. Oh, give me that. How are you giving me that? Oh, you mean Valery Ranagoski? Oh, him.
I just know Ruslan Malinowski. I didn't know the other bit. I would have played safe.
Ruslan Voya Demey Rustiv Malinowski has had interest from Bayern Munich, Chelsea, and Chelsea are willing to pay 20 million for the youngster. Borussia Dortmund are willing to pay around 25 million for Jonathan Ikone. They would offer the Frenchman a 4-year deal in order to convince the player to make the transfer. Jerome had a little look at him previously, so he's a very good player. Dortmund would be getting. Theo Walcott signed a 2-year deal with Southampton. Got a lot of time for Theo Walcott. According to Kicker, Manchester City have signalled their interest in RC Lens fullback Jonathan Klaus, along with other clubs across Europe. Chelsea and Dortmund are both interested in signing Wolfsburg striker Wout Weghorst, who's scored 20 goals in Bundesliga. He's quite a known name. I think he was at Feyenoord a few seasons ago. I think it was. Very good player. Now it's time for Harry Kane. The big one. Harry Kane. Will he stay? Will he go? He's got to be going, Steve. Harry Kane has got to be going. It's about time. Is Harry Kane going?
Harry Kane's gone.
Harry Kane is going. But
Harry,
where is he going?
where is he? Where is he going?
But okay, let's start off with there's a little bit of news on Barcelona about to table a bid.
There is. I spoke to our Barcelona source this morning and just asked him, is there anything going on out there regards Barcelona and Real Madrid? Real Madrid, absolutely nothing at all. But Barcelona, they're exploring the possibilities of bringing Kane to the new camp next season. They're looking at an exchange of Coutinho and either Griezmann or Dembele, plus £35 million. Now, Laporta, he wants this to happen. This, interestingly, is Spurs' number one option to take if Harry Kane does leave. This is what Daniel Levy wants to happen if, God forbid, in Daniel Levy's eyes, that he goes. Can you see the reasons why this is his number one choice?
Who? What? Barcelona?
Yeah. This is Daniel Levy. This is Tottenham.
Because he doesn't want to sell him to Man United and Man City. He wants him out of the Premier League. Of course he does.
But as Coutinho, this just you exchange Coutinho with him, so that's a swap. Yeah. And
so Coutinho and Griezmann plus 35 mil. He's doing basically, yeah. Barcelona will be doing the job of the director of football who's meant to be buying these players. The only tricky thing with this year is, does Griezmann and Coutinho want to play for Tottenham? They're the main. That's the main crux of it. 35
Coutinho wants out, doesn't he? Coutinho wants
out. So let's just say Coutinho would go to Tottenham. Is Griezmann going to Tottenham as well? There's so much in these swap deals. That's two players you've got to agree with. And then Kane going the other way.
These three players are all three players that we spoke of, that we spoke about for a long while now. Have been the disaster buyers, haven't they, of Barcelona?
Yeah, they need to get rid.
The ones that have put them in debt. So for my top source to come out with this, it's an eye opener. And this is, if I was Tottenham and Harry Kane had to go, and there was the possibility of getting Coutinho or Griezmann plus 35 million, I'm snapping your hand off.
Yeah, I am as well, because it'd be very hard to bring in. I don't know who would Tottenham bring in potentially to replace Harry Kane.
Now,
who else is out there now that Tottenham could take and replace Harry Kane with? Well, you've got to take away the factor that player is going to be someone from a Juventus or a Real Madrid, Barcelona, that's going to be like their main player. They're not taking main players from the best teams in the world. So they've got to go to the other players, the up-and-comings, the potentials,
You're there. You're there. You're nearly there. You're nearly there. You just without me even saying it, you're going on exactly that path to saying the player that has been linked with Tottenham, who Tottenham would have. And that's Calvert-Lewin.
Oh, that'd be good signing.
I've been told today that if Kane goes, Spurs want Calvert-Lewin. They will bring in the money. With all the money that they get, they will go to Everton and get Calvert-Lewin.
I mean, that's not bad. That's not a bad signing. So
when you put him with... do you know what? I can't find me notes about it. Must have left them in the other room. But Calvert-Lewin when I was told that, my eyes opened up.
It fits, doesn't it?
It fits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just fits. And
It fits.
again, I've been told that thing that I get told every week, guys, every week. And every week it's the same. Watch in the middle of the week. Watch. It'll come out. Grealish last week got told was clown. Go and have a look at Twitter now. Go and have a look at the reports about Grealish and going to Tottenham. They're a week behind. We said it last week. They're there. This will come out. This will come out. And Kieran, does it fit?
It fits, mate. It fits. It fits. It fits the profile. It fits the age. It fits the type of striker that he is. He's not that Calvert-Lewin. I feel like this was Calvert-Lewin's. This is who I am season. Yeah, he's kind of found himself this season, and he's also gone on to play for England and score goals as well. So, yeah, I think that'd be a very good signing for Tottenham. And I think they'd be the kind of signing that would be a good replacement for Harry Kane. Harry Kane will be very hard to replace, but I think bringing in someone like him and maybe potentially another winger, top draw winger, to sort of support him and Son would be ideal. Would be a step in the right direction rather than doing what they did last time with Gareth Bale and trying to buy in about 10 players to replace him with, which didn't work. And they've still got Lamella in the team who's not doing the business.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at three there. I mean, we're just putting the puzzle together here. You know, so you're looking at Coutinho, say you're looking at Griezmann, and then you're looking at Calvert-Lewin into that Spurs size. That's formidable. That's scary. That's a scary size, especially if they all click.
Yeah, no, it is. Next up. Man United have been linked. What are the sources for Man United saying with regards to Harry Kane? Because that's been a long admiration for Mr. Kane.
Well, Man United were always the number one place where Harry Kane was gonna go to. His number one choice. And listen, look, it may still well be this is going to go on, you know, right up until probably the last minutes of deadline day. This one, who knows? But the thing is, with Manchester United now, they have the price problem of paying the money for Kane. They have the problem of that they want a lot of players in other areas. They want positions like we were just talking about a right back to cover Wan-Bissaka. We all know they are desperate for a centre back. We know they're going to buy a centre back. They're looking for the winger. They're looking at, you know, we if they want Sancho, they're looking at 80 million there. You're going with those players just there. You're looking at 200 million. You're adding Kane on is 300 million. They've just signed Edison Cavani on a 1-year contract. They've got Rashford there. They've got Greenwood there. It's not happening. I can't see it happening. I think it'd be a massive mistake if it did. But today I was told that these are the main priorities of Manchester United, and Harry Kane isn't their main priority.
Okay. So what's the main priority? Centre back and
centre back, cover for right back, a forward, probably a right-sided player. If you're looking at and also the possibilities of a keeper and all. Yeah,
so they've got their sort of things tied. All right,
they've
Steve.
Got their shopping list there.
They are.
Just yeah.
And
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Chelsea. Is there any interest from Chelsea?
There's just no way. There's no way Harry Kane's going to Chelsea. There's no links. There's no nothing that you're seeing. Chelsea are going to go and have a bid in this sometime this week. I mean, it's just a wasted bid. I mean, Harry Kane's the king of White Hart Lane. If he went to Chelsea, I mean, doesn't even bear thinking about it, does it? I mean, it's like him going to Arsenal. I mean, it's not going to happen.
But I can see people getting ready to start typing Sol Campbell. Let's remember, Sol Campbell went on a free transfer, so it had nothing to do with Tottenham whatsoever. And look at the grief he got after that. And the main one, Manchester City. Something that people may not know about this one as well, Steve. Manchester City. All roads point to the City Stadium.
For the people that I talk in, my sources are getting very excited, and they're rubbing their hands together, and the possibility of Harry Kane playing at the Etihad next season. And just like you said, Kieran, everything points to Manchester City. They, whatever you want to believe from in the press and from other people and other people on Twitter, they were the only club that spoke to Harry Kane in last summer. He was this close to leaving for Manchester City.
Yeah,
it's this close. The only reason why he never went to Manchester City last season was because Daniel Levy literally got at his knees and begged, "Give me this one more season. Give me one more season. I've got Jose Mourinho here. This guy's going to win us titles. This guy's going to win us cups." That's just blew up in his face. Now Harry Kane's got the ump, and that's basically the final straw. Aguero, he's leaving. Man City need a striker. Everything points to Manchester City. Been told today that they've been given the money to go and get him. He's the favourites. Man City are the team who Harry Kane has told people that he wants to play for. He's the one that he's come out publicly and praised more than anyone. And from a friend of ours who's you may call the number one transfer expert is now sort of saying that he thinks that they're favourites to get Manchester City. Man City are very serious. They're like, talk to me. Let's get this done. Let's get this signed. I want you as my number 9 next season. That's what I'm getting at the minute.
All right. So it looks like at the moment Manchester City favourites. Look, Harry Kane wanted to go there in the summer. They got a vacancy from their all-time top goal scorer, Sergio Aguero. And what better player to replace that all-time top goal scorer than the potential all-time Premier League top goal scorer in Harry Kane? I mean, the story's there. It writes itself. It looks like Harry Kane could be going Man City. Will Harry Kane swap the Lily Whites for the Sky Blues? I personally think so. Steve over here definitely thinks so. I mean, the only other option there is Barcelona, and I don't know how good Harry Kane is with his Spanish, but I think it would be a bit of a tongue twister. I think it's it's up to Manchester for Man City, and if he wants to win titles, he wants to win trophies. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't handed in a transfer request.
No, but it's a mutual agreement, isn't it?
Yes, it's a gentleman's agreement that he said that you can go. Now it's, I mean, from what I've heard, Daniel Levy's going to say that I don't want you to go, and I've heard he's going to offer him a new contract, which is pretty laughable. But I think this is all, no disrespect to the Spurs fans. I think this is all he's trying to con you. He's trying to pull the wool under your eyes to say as if, well, if I offer him a contract, they'll think that, at least I've tried to keep him. Just let the guy go.
Yeah. As we said previously, I think he's kind of earned it, hasn't he?
Big. I mean, we've always used to have this thing about Harry Kane. Is he world class? Is he not world class? He's in world class.
He's world class. He's world class.
People say, how do you define world class? What is world class? Well,
consistency.
I define world class as someone who can just get into any team in the world.
Yeah.
That's my how I class a world class player. If you can get into play, if you can walk into Barcelona, walk into Real Madrid, walk into Bayern, then to me you're world class. And he would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would. He would. He could walk into any team in the world and be their main striker, and he'd be top goal scorer in pretty much every league possible. He is world class. There's no two ways about it. We was having a discussion with someone yesterday, and there's not many of that striker. There's Lewandowski, there's Harry Kane, there's Benzema, and there's not many other out and out. Not necessarily has to be a target man, but that's kind of main focal point striker that smashes in the goals season after season. There's not many, and that's why they're highly sought after, and that's why clubs don't want to sell them. All right, all right, boom, smack bang on the hour. Thank you very much for that, Steve. Top transfer news there. Was there anything else? Was there anything I missed?
No, I think that was it. It's
right.
We just got to keep our eyes out on this on Harry Kane, which I'll be doing every day, as making sure that we're up on it. So you people out there know first. So first on here. So subscribe and like.
Yes, definitely. Thanks for everyone who's joined us. The comment section has been popping off tonight. Peter, Jonathan. Why not love football, hate KSC? You've changed it. I could deal with that. The other one was messing with my eyes. I couldn't even read it properly. Yeah. Thanks to everyone who's joining us. Make sure, what is it this weekend? It's the final games of the season, isn't it? So we've got Arsenal have got Brighton on Sunday at 4:00, and Manchester United have got Wolves at 4:00. So you will be getting a transfer update at 3:15 from Nathan and Lee, and as it's the last one of the season, you'll get a joint one with me, Steve, and Jerome, if Jerome can join us at 3:30. So thanks for everyone for joining us tonight. Thanks to everyone for the comments. Thanks for the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all of the above. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.